Luke Kornet is out. He is gone on a contract that will pay him more than $40 million a year with the Spurs. $40 million over 4 years, I should say. Excuse me. That's a mistake. 4 years, 41. Over $10 million on a per annual basis for him. He's out of here. He was not getting that money here in Boston, I don't think. So Cornet is gone, and Al Horford could be next. And it doesn't feel like the Celtics are making any major efforts to keep this thing intact. And you just heard the signing of Garza for the Celtics last night was $5.5 million a year. Is that what it was?
No, $5.5 million total.
Oh,
two
total.
2 years, yeah.
Sorry, $5.5 million total over 2 years. That's the kind of player they're looking for now. Not Luke Kornet, not Al Horford. They're looking for Luka Garza. 2 years, $5.5 million. I think they're tanking. I think that they are not going in on the 2025-26 season, McCone. I think they're just content to dial it back, spend less money, and just be as good as that roster will allow them to be, and whatever it is, it is.
Good. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing right now if you're the Boston Celtics. This is a throwaway year, so you should reset everything right now. I don't understand why you would want to just be in the mix in the 5 or 6 seed in the Eastern Conference right now and spend money.
That seed keeps going down for you, by the way. I love how that seed. Now they were
other teams are getting better.
They were
Hawks
3
are
or 4.
better.
Now they're a 5 or a 6.
Hawks are a better team now, so you're getting bumped down further and further. And I'm not sure when Luke Kornet also turned into Bill Russell, and all the emotional posts that I saw on Twitter last night.
It's a bit much.
It's
a bit heavy.
It's Luke Kornet. Nice player. Nice backup big for sure. Not Kevin McHale, last time I checked. If Brad Stevens can't replace that over the next 2 years, if he can't find a replacement that's serviceable for Luke Kornet, Brad Stevens is not the GM that we all think he is.
But he barks, Tim. He runs up the court and barks. You need guys like that.
This is exactly what the Celtics should be doing going into this year.
They could still.
And they're
by the way, they could still win the East. They could. The East stinks, Tim. It's not very good. You're telling me the Hawks are good now. I'm not going to sit here and tolerate that.
All right, what if Horford leaves, though?
Horford is going to leave, by the way. I don't know if you were watching the free agent special on ESPN last night, because once it got out of hand with the Red Sox game, I flipped over. And Bobby Marks is on the big board doing his salary cap stuff and essentially let it slip that Shams told him that Al Horford is walking out the door. And then they tried to cover it up, and they're like, oh, Bobby, nothing's official yet. Yeah. So he's gone. Al Horford's gone. It's not coming. He's not coming back.
Warriors?
That's what it sounds like.
So Al Horford's going to leave.
But does it make sense to spend money on Al Horford, potentially put yourself into a penalty right now, for what for next year? Don't you want to build towards when Jason? Don't you want to put yourself in a position where you have flexibility on the roster to add and maximize the window when Jason Tatum is healthy? I don't know why you would take away from that ability by building a team that could potentially win the Eastern Conference. Don't you want to maximize the ability to win a championship?
Yeah, but I just think that Derek White and Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard, that is still 3 really good options in your starting lineup. And with the way the East is, and by the way, Miles Turner just left Indiana, so there's that now too.
Oh, where's he going?
Milwaukee.
Oh, stays in the conference though.
So
7 seed. Continue.
So I think the Celtics are going to be the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. I think that's where they are. I think that New York probably finishes ahead of them. I would say, but after that, I'm kind of like, okay, like so who are like the premier teams right now in the Eastern Conference?
I just want to know how the hell this looks if you lose Porzingis, you lose Horford, you lose Kornet, and you bring back Luka Garza. How does that work? That they need to do more.
I think they're going to, by the way. I don't think Simons is going to play a game for the Celtics.
Okay.
So I think you're going to trade for another big. You're going to continue to shed some payroll, right? And that's what you're going to wind up doing. But yes, I think that's what it's going to look like. And by the way, again, Luke Kornet and Al Horford, solid players for you. But if you're talking about the ceiling with this team, do you think it's affected that much if you bring in a serviceable big? and lose money, give yourself flexibility moving forward. Do you think it changes your outlook for this year that substantially?
No, it's not the front court for me. It is having the shooters like Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. Like, that is going to keep you in games throughout the 82.
They're going to take so many shots.
Yes.
Right.
They are.
Yeah. 100%.
And I just think their natural talent is going to keep you in games that maybe you should lose. And with Jalen here too, like, can't lose sight of him. Like, what if he does take that step without Jason Tatum and he is able to carry you, up and down the court some nights? Like, I just think that, like, I get what you're saying, but like them not trading White and not trading Brown at the draft, that told me, like, okay, you're a 4th or a 5th seed. Like, and that's just how I think their natural kind of level of talent.
So I'm not saying that, by the way, that you're going to tank and win 12 games next year, because I don't think that that's on the table. But I don't think you should be making any moves whatsoever to try to maximize next year. That, to me, makes no sense whatsoever. So if you have those guys that you're talking about and Jaylen Brown does take that next step and you do wind up being a 4 seed, that's fine. That's great. But I'm not investing in this team next year.
Okay, well, there is an in-between, though. It's not about maximizing for this coming season, but it's also about your willingness to let guys walk and not replace them. And I know the offseason is just beginning, right? There's a lot of time to make moves. And as you said, you don't think Simons is going to play a single game here. But I do wonder if they are not fazed by any of this. And they're just saying, whatever, we're going to go with the Ty Anderson plan, which is, hey, we still have good players. We still have guys who could play and could shoot, and that's what we're going to do. And we'll see where it takes us. And we know that just based on our talent, we can be a 4th seed, and we can have a good playoff run, and we don't have to spend any money doing it. I wonder if that's just how they're going to approach it.
Wasn't this happening regardless? Like, barring them winning a title.
I don't know.
If they won a title, I think that would, the allure of being the first three-peat and the first true dynasty since, like, the Lakers would have been there. But other than that, I think this was happening regardless. So, like, nothing that has happened to this point has made me go, oh, I didn't see that one coming.
I think
like, that's how I
think
feel
it's
about
these two moves right here that are the difference, right? Mm-hmm. Like, Cornet, you probably and you can probably sell Al Horford in terms of staying here, right? I just don't think you go back to Al Horford walked out the door and went to Philadelphia a few years ago. I think that's a guy that wants to actually compete, and I think he looks at your situation right now and says, I have limited years left, or maybe a year left. I'm not going to spend it on a team that's going to wind up being the 4 or 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. And so those two moves coming up right now are probably the difference, but I'm with you. I think Porzingis and Drew Holiday are probably both out the door if you didn't win that championship.